Smile, everybody. We are on candid camera. Who I see? I see Mad Hatter said he'd be back. Billy Ray, Cheryl, are you here? MPN, can you guys hear me? I always have to check because. Hold on here. Hold on. Hold on. We would check here in a minute. Can I hear myself on here? Rock Daddy, what's up, man? Garguts, there you are. Garguts. Your guitar, man, it's crazy. multi rev, yeah. So let's see. Hold on, let me see who all we got going on today. Already, we got Billy Ray, we got Mad Hatter, we got Cheryl for Freedom. There you go. And Cheryl, his ex-wife was named Cheryl, so. MPN, Garguts, Rock Daddy, Multi, and oh, cool. All right, there we go. Everybody's there. Oh, no Peggy yet. Wow. Okay. So everybody, Zach, Dave's not here. Dave is right here. This is my, he's basically a brother as far as I'm concerned. Been friends for 42 years. Now who's telling me? Oh, Jed. Been friends for 42 years, man. And through thick and thin. So tonight's show, 2 hours. I don't think Dave's going to stay the whole time. He'll go back over to the TV unless you want to stay. You're more welcome to stay. So, so you guys, Cheryl says hi.
Hey, everybody.
Cheryl says hi. That's not, and it's not your ex-wife, Cheryl.
That's good. I create a fairly awkward moment.
So I'm trying to get him set with this, but we're using actually the mic's down here on him instead of up here where I have it. So there might be, hey, not all Cheryls are created the same. All right.
Hey, man.
So today we have been working on, which is a chat favorite, One Night Eternal, because you guys know I did the bass on the recording you hear. He's the actual bass player, not me. So we were going through the song. He's writing everything down. So we're actually going to redo it with him on the bass, a proper person to play bass, and we'll redo the song. And then I guess he's going to add some stuff to it that I didn't know how to do it correctly, because what I was trying to do when I tried to do some of that stuff was just create exactly what I do on the guitar, and I don't like that.
Mad I see you, brother.
Greasy, hey Greasy. Cool. Cheryl says she has been learning rock bass herself. There you go. He's been a bass player, God, your whole life.
13. I think I started at the age of
13 years old, man. So, and then basically we kidnapped him his senior year of high school, and he was up here the whole time. And for those of you who may not remember or weren't here to see it before, I have a photo of him and I in Mark's studio.
That was a long.
Yep. Hold on. Somewhere in here.
Oh, yeah.
So this is me and him in 1987. And I was telling you about Bob Bond's racing team. He's actually wearing one of Bob's shirts.
Best shirt I ever had. Comfortable too.
So we had it going. So Cheryl said she used to play some bluegrass bass, guitar, etc. Cool, Dave. I could learn from you. There you go. There you go. He's got his Fender bass is right there. Which are we going to turn that into Steve Harris bass too?
I like the blue, but I'm not sure about going full Steve Harris.
Okay, all right.
But I love the bass you did, yes.
Mad, you were only 10 in 87? Well, you're a young pup. Some of us Cheryls are friendly and nice. Well, I hope so. I can tell you she is.
Yeah.
Nothing like...
Well, let's just say I had one of a kind, so I know they're not all like the one I was used to. And it's good to hear, Cheryl.
So we have been working on One Night Eternal all day, and then we actually went for a dinner break, then came back and worked on it some more. And he's got all his notes written out and all that stuff. So
is that what we're calling that, a dinner break?
Well, yeah.
Okay. It came with a beer, so I'm not going to complain.
He drinks, not me.
Oh.
So, Mad Hatter, you were 10 in 87. Wow. So you were born the year I was in California, 77, 78. So, wow.
Thanks, Cheryl. Cheers to you too, sis.
So tonight's going to be a little different. 2 hour max. And we are going to, I have one of his old acoustics to work on. June of 77. Believe it or not, Mad, that is when my cousin snuck me into the whiskey, and I saw the last 4 or 5 songs of Van Halen's set. But what makes me mad, at the Troubadour, Quiet Riot was playing with Randy Rhoads.
Oh. Nice.
So 77, was Rudy in 77 or was that still Kelly?
I think it was still Kelly.
Okay.
I'd have to Google that.
So, yeah, so I saw Van Halen in the whiskey, like 4 songs, maybe 5 or 4.5. I just know it was in June of 77. I don't know the exact date. You could probably look it up. Hi, Avie. You could probably Google it and find out when they were there in 77. But that was right before they went on their tours, started.
Hey.
So tonight we answer some questions, talk about some guitar. He can show you his bass. We should have brought the Epiphone bass in.
Still in the other room.
Okay. Or if things I've told you guys that some people may not believe, if you want to ask, you can ask Dave.
It is true, folks. I will say, me and Ronnie was talking earlier. A lot of folks find it hard to believe we spent a lot of time in a rock band together. And Ronnie does not drink alcohol. 2 times in my 42 years of knowing this man, I've seen him with 2 tequila sunrises, and I don't think he finished either one of them.
Threw him away.
Yeah. But he liked the song, so therefore he made the drink. And those were pretty special occasions. One I think was a New Year's Eve, and the other one I think was somebody's birthday.
Troy's?
It's been so long I can't remember, brother.
Troy or Lance's? It hadn't been one of those two.
And Ronnie said somebody asked about smoking cigarettes. I'm struggling with it, trying to quit, but Ronnie, luckily,
Walked away.
I think, he smoked very briefly, but he never fell into that, how would you say, the standard sex, drugs, rock and roll, smoking cigarettes and doing all the crazy stuff. Ronnie actually put in the hard work and did what he needed to do as far as guitar work was concerned, and left the partying to the rest of us.
That's true. But see, I was able to have fun without getting drunk.
Oh yeah, Ronnie was the life of the party. Either that or we were just too drunk to know any better. But yeah, I mean, Ronnie, we always had a great time hanging out.
He used to have the fringe, the hole in the pants and fringe, and I had a bad habit of when he was sitting next to me, I'd reach over and light it. He didn't know it. He'd be sitting there drinking.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm on fire! Start smacking. And it wasn't just once. I did it all the time.
Yeah, anytime he caught me not paying attention.
So, and he owned the Camaro that I painted the lime green, built a motor for. And yeah, fun without booze, Mike.
Don't ask me. I don't know how he did it.
Yeah, he don't know. He can't do it.
Right? Still to this day, occasionally I'm like, okay, I'm going to have it.
So, you see, we got Brother Dave. I'm struggling with trying to quit smoking cigarettes too, mate. And it's not an easy thing to do, but just keep on rock and rolling.
And I appreciate that. Thanks, Matt Hatter. Out of all the things I've ever had considered vices in my life, if there was one that I could erase, take away, or go back and try to get the 13, 14-year-old Dave to never do, it'd be cigarettes. I've struggled with a lot of different vices. Let's just leave it at that over the course of my life. And it's the one habit that I can't kick. I've kicked a lot of harder things, if you know what I mean. But nicotine is 10 times worse than they let it on to be.
And I touched on this, over the last month, ever since I don't even remember what other thing was now. I forgot. But
see, he doesn't need booze. He can forget all this all on his own. He doesn't need booze. Oh, and Cheryl, yes, we've been great friends for a really long time.
42 years.
Really, really good friends. We've been, I'm closer to Ronnie than I am my own brother, and that's no disrespect to my brother.
No.
Ronnie gets along okay with my brother as well. But, we've been, through thick and thin, through a lot of major things in our lives we went through together, and I thank God he's around.
Thank you, man.
Oh yeah.
But the hard part about this, and I'd mentioned this before, was here was a guy that was my best friend, and through his vices, I had to fire him from the band, and it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy to do it. I didn't, I wasn't happy about it. He wasn't happy about it either. But here we are all these years later, and I think it actually brought us closer.
Yeah, it's actually worked out well.
And it was, and I didn't just say, hey, I did it with respect.
Yeah, and it wasn't all just about some of my vices, which at the time was a lot of drinking. There's a lot of things going on personally, which contributed to the drinking and things like that. But there was a lot of things up in the air with the rest of my life. Looking back on it, it was a rough spot, because we were mates, but at the same time, we came out of it just unscathed. At one point in time, I even ran the light show for the band he was in. Changed the spelling of the name of the band, but left the name of the band the same. So yeah, the good news was by running the light show with Triggers, I knew all the songs, so I knew where the lights should go and what direction to send them in.
We had a killer light show. We really did.
Best light show around.
And that shows, I mean, because how many other people would be fired from a band, then turn around and come back and do anything to do with the band, let alone work with them? You know, hey, Guitar Bob.
We spent as much time fishing.
Yeah.
Like the old Leonard Skinner stuff you always hear about. We spent as much time fishing together as we did playing in a band. So when you spend that much time on a riverbank next to a guy, you work things out.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, we did. And, you know, it's just, I mean, God, you know, when you guys bought your first house.
Yeah.
And I moved from here to Springfield, and that kind of sucked. But it was funny because every time we would come back here for a weekend, you know, Beth and Cole and Carrie would come here and go see her dad, and I'd go down to see Dave and unfortunately his first wife, Cheryl. But yeah, it was interesting, educational.
We had a lot of good times, man.
Yeah. And I did get in a lot of trouble with Cheryl, though.
Yeah, that was all your fault. She had some nice names for Ronnie that she liked to call him. I can't say them on air, but yeah, we were kind of inseparable, and I think that had a lot to do with it. If I had the same relationship I did with Cheryl as I do with Ronnie, we might still be together too, Ron.
Yeah, remember when we just went to look at a pistol and you come back with the rifle and she was throwing a fit?
I remember going to look for a puppy and came back with a 1980 Chevy Camaro, and she was really mad about that. And one year for Christmas, I remember getting her a transmission rebuilt and a paint job on that Camaro.
Well, that was
that was for her birthday, actually. But yeah.
So we had a lot of fun. There was a house 10 miles from here down in Powhatan, Ohio. And it's like a freaking castle. It really is. It's like, what, 4,600 square feet?
Yeah, it's a big home.
All block, brick, spiral staircase. Well, back then it didn't have that spiral staircase.
No, but the basement, this house was so big that we stayed in the basement for a week, and you didn't have to go upstairs. You didn't need to go anywhere. I mean, everything was upstairs was downstairs. I mean,
yeah, because they built the house from the ground up, and they finished the basement and lived in it as they built the rest of the house.
Right.
I mean, we're talking bathrooms with urinals in them. So, and this is a house.
Oh, and don't forget the restaurant, the table, chairs. What do you call them? Booths.
Yeah, the booths.
They had the restaurant booths in the basement around the bar. I mean, it was like a little restaurant type cafe setting, and of course the bar was always fully stocked. That led to a few adventures as well.
But God, how many times did we practice there?
A lot.
I mean, quite, and
almost daily.
And the guy's parents was really cool with us.
Very supportive.
Yeah. They didn't care if we wanted to get up at 4 a.m. and start writing a song or they didn't care. They did not care at all. They were fine with that.
Yeah, they were very, very supportive. We had a lot of folks that were pretty supportive very early on.
And that falls into my paying it forward with the music stuff, just to keep music going. So, let's see. Multi wants to know. Okay, well, for me and him, that would be different because he was not in the band when we signed, which that did bother me too. I was, because him and I's the ones that's really me, you, and Troy's.
I didn't even get a song credit, folks. The most memorable year for me, to get back to your question, brother, is when we first started traveling outside our local area. Played a few local places. We were so young then. We even played a few, like what you would call a teenagers thing, where there was no drinking, no booze, no nothing, just a house full of kids. And when we started traveling outside the area, went to Columbus, Ohio, just off the Ohio State University campus. Played a show there, and that was
Hold that mic up.
It was pretty memorable for me as well.
There you go.
I mean, that was probably one of the biggest things, was getting out of the local town, getting out of the local bars, and actually going somewhere to a bigger city like that. And we got a pretty good reception that evening. So that was probably the most memorable for me.
That's when we spent the day on Ohio State radio. They interviewed us and everything.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. We were, we stopped and talked to a DJ for a little while before we went on stage.
Yep, they interviewed us live, and then that was Stosh's bar, right?
Yes.
Yep. Oh, I forgot all about that. Was another singer we had. He was only in the band for a short time.
Bear Lewis. Yeah.
He ended up dying about 2 years ago, sadly. But yeah, it was kind of a, I don't know, I call it a punk bar, maybe.
Yeah, it was a different crowd. We were worried about how we were going to go over with, at the time, the long hair and the cut-up blue jeans and all that.
Leather jacket.
Motley Crue T-shirts and everything, So we were a little worried. What those old chicken wire bars, man, where they put up the chicken wire fence in front of you.
Bob's Country Bunker.
That's the only thing that was missing, man. And when you talk about a hole in the wall, literally a hole in the wall. When you go to the bathroom, the urinal was more like a trough, and everybody just kind of had at it. And then the back wall looked like a brick wall, and definitely a hole in the wall.
The best part is we won the crowd over. Was invited back, and that opened the door for other bars, bigger clubs. So we had a blast, And for me, I have two. It's the very beginning of the band, meaning, Troy's house and all that stuff and everything we went through to get started.
Right.
Doug's house.
Right.
So, so that would be the first memorable year. Then the next one would be when we went on the road with Grim Jack. That was definitely, that was the life, that was the grow up,
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the real world.
No. Mad Hatter, you asked me a tough one, brother. I'm just going to be honest with you. Okay, let's get the mic in here real nice and close, because this is going to be one that you probably... Yeah. The most embarrassing moment I ever had on stage was Ronnie here had loaned me a pair of leather pants. Nice leather pants, nothing wrong with them, but I like to go what they say, commando. So in between songs, and there's a long intro into the very last song for the evening, and this was a real early time with one of my first bands I was ever in. I went to the bathroom, I used the urinal, and in my haste, I caught part of Dave in the zipper of the leather pants. And Mad Hatter, brother, you know how they say the show must go on. Okay, it was bloody at the end, but the show did go on. But it was at a roller rink, and folks were skating around. And you get to a certain angle, and there was no hiding the part of Dave that was stuck in that zipper. And I would have to say that was probably the most embarrassing moment ever on stage for me, until later on when I got into a semi-professional band, traveling and doing a lot more shows.
where lighting and effects become more of as much of the performance as anything else. There was that one time rushing out onto the stage in front of a large group of people to where I just fell, tripped on the top stair, fell, landed flat on my face, okay, and nothing's going on stage, but you could hear the bass just ringing and all the feedback, and you can hear me cussing and screaming and throwing a fit through the microphone, and I had to pick myself up, and the show must go on.
He got to keep the pants too, by the way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was yeah, that was interesting. But we had a lot. When they talk about Spinal Tap, a lot of that is very true. Very true. That's what makes it so funny, because it's not all made up. There's a lot of it that is pretty much dead on.
Yeah, and that's also what makes a lot of it fun, because of those moments like that.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you something to think back and reflect on. And now we just sit and laugh at these stories. And yeah, like a lot of old guys, we'll sit and tell the same stories over and over again, but they're funny to us. So,
and people who were there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very interesting. We did tell them about the dirt bikes. Dirt bike, my three-wheeler.
Oh man, that was actually, I don't know if we should talk about that.
Yeah. No, I would go to the carryout store and buy, what was I buying?
Southern Comfort.
I was buying, it was a little thing.
Pint bottles.
And I would would bring them down and give them to him, because I didn't drink. And I rode a three-wheeler.
And he cut me loose on a dirt bike.
And he had my dirt bike. And this wasn't just one time. It was
a weekend project. We do it most weekends at that time. And yeah, we had some close calls.
The one funny part was when he was first started riding the bike, the back tire on the knobby was worn out. It was spin. So when you would kick it in, the power band would kick in, but what would happen was it would just more or less spin instead of take off. And then I didn't tell him, and I got a new tire on it, and did the same thing. Gave him the Southern Comfort, and we went riding. That's when you.
Yeah, didn't have a choice but to let go of the handlebars about 20, 30 feet in the air.
And it was the first day he wore a helmet.
Yeah, and was it you or your dad? Yeah, almost insisted. And it was the very first time I ever decided to ride this dirt bike with a helmet on. And yeah, thank God I did, because that would have been a very short, painful experience if not.
I was at the top there. It was a hill, then it kind of like caved down, and I was sitting on top of that on my three-wheeler. And I see him coming up the thing. I thought, okay, he'll just, jump past me. Then the power band kicked in, and it didn't spin. It took off. It
like
grabbed.
A rocket. It took off like a rocket ship. I didn't even have time to strap my knees around this bike. It just took off.
He comes up over the top. The back wheel of the motorcycle went across my helmet. That's how high he was. And then he completely missed the landing ramp. He's in midair, and all I see is, oh, and he shoved the bike away. The bike hits the ground. He goes head first into the exhaust pipe.
Now, in my defense, what I saw was as the power band kicked in and the bike had shot off like a rocket, I looked down and I see my best friend on a three-wheeler going right underneath me. So I'm trying, in my defense, instead of just ditching the bike, as Ronnie claims, I was actually saving his life.
Well, that might have been at first, but you overshot the landing ramp. I mean, he didn't even come close.
Tomatoes, folks. I'm telling you, I saved Ron Kaluger's life. I saved Ron Gunner's life. Okay?
You went over the hill, overshot me, overshot the landing ramp. So he's probably 25, 30 feet in the air, in all honesty.
Traveling at least another 20, 30 feet.
And nothing to land on. So he's up there, and it was just down, straight down into that was a gravel there.
It was gravel there, and it was an old slate dump. So it was black, dirty. It was a messy place to ride, but man, we had a lot of fun.
Now there's another part to this. The car wash.
Oh yeah, where you left me in the ambulance, and I was the one hurt. I landed face first into the exhaust system of a dirt bike, and my neck's messed up. My jeans are ripped. There's nothing but blood. Everything. It's just as bad as you could imagine it being. Luckily, I did have the helmet on, but I'm in pretty bad shape. And Ronnie insists that we push these bikes to a car wash, which was on the way to the house anyways. Push these bikes in, gonna hose all the dirt off. Well, while we're doing that, Ronnie throws his back out. So the ambulance and the fire department is dad. Everybody's connected in town, right? Everybody's connected but me. I'm the guy from out of town. So they show up at the car wash, and they're instantly worried about, the man. So they go and they grab him, they put him on an ambulance, and they take off to the hospital. What they did is they left the dirt bike, the three-wheeler, and the bloody injured dude that couldn't walk anyways at the car wash. So yeah, I got stuck at the car wash while Ronnie got taken to the hospital.
Yeah, it was very interesting. You end up taking the bike home, and the fire department guys came and got the
three-wheeler for us, yeah.
So when I came back into town, I see them riding around the fire department lot on my three-wheeler.
And I'm looking over now, and yeah, the injuries were a little crazy. I looked like I'd been in a bad motorcycle accident, because I'd just been in a bad motorcycle accident.
That's when we were running notes back and forth. We didn't have the cell phones on the remote control car, remember? At the house?
Yeah.
Because you were sleeping on the guitar, and had a guitar room there too. And you were sleeping on the fold out couch in the bed, injured. I'm in
that was fun too, because we had no way to communicate or do anything with each other except run these remote control cars back and forth down the hallway to each other's bedroom. And that's actually how sometimes we get something to eat or something to drink. Be like, hey, Ronnie, what do you got? He's like, I got a couple of Pepsis my wife just brought me. And I'm like, okay, send one over. And there's like this little pickup truck, an RC car, man. He just drives it over to the room for me. You know what I mean?
We had
what year? Let's see. I was not in my mid-20s. I was closer to 17 or 18, somewhere in that area, because I was fresh out of high school.
You were going to be 19 that Christmas.
Okay, so yeah, that would have been like 88, 89, somewhere in that area.
So yeah, it was.
We had a lot of fun, Peggy. We had a blast.
Then we got his Camaro, and we wanted to paint it. I don't even remember what color you originally wanted.
I don't remember either.
But you were working on the back of it, and the front, I had the front fender and primer. And I had that 70 Cuda lime green, still had almost a whole gallon of it.
Yeah.
So he's in the back, and I'm like, I painted the front fender. And I'm like, hey, come here and look at this. He comes up and he's like, Dad, I like that. But were you married to Cheryl then, or were we just dating?
Yeah, we were married.
Yeah, he's like, she's not going to like this. She's not going to like this at all. But
it was like a Slimer lime green. It was, it was a 70 Cuda green. It wasn't your normal, typical green.
So we end up painting it. And that's right. I put the fiberglass hood scoop on it.
Oh, you did all that, man.
We took the fins off the back of it, and I brazed all those holes shut, filled all that in. And then we took it to the shop and pulled the motor out. I redid the motor for him. And our transmission guy did the transmission.
Yeah, had a buddy of ours rebuild the tranny. Yeah.
Then tell him about the first ride I took you in it.
Okay, so we left the hood off because it was a really nice Camaro, and there was a lot of chrome on the motor, just like you see in the hot rod magazines. It was awesome. We left the hood off. We didn't have any exhaust on it whatsoever. We just had
open headers.
Yeah, we had headers on it, but we didn't have no exhaust at all. The big garage door comes open, and I'm just sitting in the passenger seat. Ronnie's going to take me on the maiden voyage. What I wasn't expecting was we left the garage sideways, so to speak, and coming in hot, as I like to say today. Sideways. We left tire tracks. I mean, we did a burnout for a block and a half. He had me scared to death. I couldn't put my hands up on the dash because it threw me back in the seat so far. I was shocked at what we had done. I'd been in a fast cars and my early age at that time, but I had never experienced anything like that. Thank God Ronnie showed me what the car could do and what I should not do with that kind of car. Go up fast, and it's hard to say it, but a lot of people don't believe me, but I had to learn not to spend all my money replacing the tire.
So it was definitely interesting. And during all this, there was always the music.
Always.
Yep. Always the music.
I know it's a music show about guitars and stuff. We went on a tangent, drinking, driving, cars, motorcycles, but the whole entire time, music was always, I guess it was so much in the background and it was so much a part of our lives that we didn't seem like we had to make time for it because there was always time for it. Even if it was just a 5-10 minute jam. I remember a couple times sitting around the dinner table, a little table in the evenings, and just a light on in the corner, and we're picking up acoustic guitars and just tossing ideas back and forth. And while we're talking about what we were going to do the upcoming weekend, we're sitting and creating and writing, and we had a couple of good songs, early songs come out of that. A good friend of mine was sitting in with us one night, and you guys we recorded that song.
Yeah, Bub.
Our first demo, or EP, as they used to call it back in the day. A friend of mine, like I said, we were sitting around a dining room table, low lights on low in the corner. We're talking about what everybody's going to do and get into over the course of the weekend. Somebody, I think it was Ronnie, starts a little riff on a guitar. My buddy Bub comes in with a little idea that he's having. He's also a bass player. So I start chiming in with a little things that I'm hearing in a melody in the back of my mind, in my head. And the next thing you know, we actually recorded that song a short amount of time later. So the music was always there.
Always. No matter what we got into, the day started with music, and it usually ended something with music.
Yeah. And that was even when and if and how I was even kicked out of the band. We still did all that stuff. I ain't going to let him live it down.
So, but we did have, well, you were in the band when that happened, though, when Bub was here.
What's that?
You were in the band when Bub was here.
Yes.
So, yeah, it was very interesting, and I'll see if you remember this. Did I or did I not have not the very intro, but the actual song a year and a half before it was ever released? Wanted Dead or Alive, the chord structure. Not the
on the guitar, yeah, on the acoustic.
Not that intro part, but dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
I had that a year and a half before Bon Jovi came out with it. I just wish I could prove that because he'd owe me some money.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. So I've seen someone commented like, times we had as kids back in the 80s and 90s. No one's ever going to have time like that before. No one put a helmet on me, knee pads, shoulder pads, none of that. We had great
He's 6'8".
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah. I'm a big guy. We had parents. They loved us. We had parent supervision. The only difference between now and then is everybody documents everything.
Yeah.
So luckily for us, no one was around to document or tell anybody what our hijinks were any given day.
We did the stupid stuff before people knew about it.
Yeah. And then we kept a lot of it to ourselves until now.
Yeah. Well, I've been telling him, you know, because it's been 4 weeks. I was hoping to get him up here every weekend, and something happened. So I've been telling him all along, you know, hey, Dave, come. I'm trying to get him up here. We're trying to get up here. And it was to work on music. So he's going to be here till Monday. So I'm going to fix his acoustic, and then we're going to finish working on the 190 Eternal. Then we're going to dig in. I got a bunch more. Now we can go start over on, and we'll go back to Payne too. So
yeah. Someone's asking, did we do things like that with other members of the band? To be honest with you, we did, but they were a little bit.
Thought we were crazy.
Yeah. That's for lack of better words. They thought we were a little bit crazy. We were more willing to do what a lot of other folks wouldn't do at the time. We were what you would call the Hellraisers. So yeah.
So there you go, people. I was a Hellraiser, but didn't drink, didn't do drugs, ever.
And if you're asking what kind of bass do I play, I've got a Fender that I absolutely love. It's been a lifelong dream of mine to own a Fender Precision bass. So I do have one of those. I picked up an Epiphone. I know some folks are fans, some folks aren't, but I always was fascinated with the Les Paul body style. And when Epiphone produced a Les Paul body style on a bass, I had to have it. So I'm still working the kinks out of that one. It needs some work done. Ronnie's helped me a lot. You know, I don't know if he showed any of that on the show or not, but he's helped me out a lot. I have an Ibanez acoustic bass that I also like to tinker around with quite a bit. And right now, that's about it.
But we're trying. Well, yeah, you did.
We got one we're customizing. We got one we're working on. I've decided to do something like a rat rod, like a fretless bass. And I've been looking at a few others, but right now my two main basses is my Epiphone Les Paul and my Fender.
Explain to them the Charvel on loan.
Well, I wish I still had that bass. I think they called that an EB2 or something like that. I got that in 87, 88, nowhere later than any 89, and that was a consignment shop. So we just borrowed that. We were doing a gig later that evening. That was the all teenage access show I was mentioning early on. So we borrowed that bass for that gig, and luckily we knew the guys at the music house, but I never did return that. I kept that thing for about every bit of 25, 30 years before I was forced into a position where I did let it go. I wish I never had, because now all I do is think about that thing back. And it's not because it's a special bass. It's not because it has anything unique or anything like that about it. What it has is it has the sentimental value. That bass was there early on in the beginning. It wasn't my first bass, but it was the nicest bass I had up until that point. And the thing that made that bass worth so much to me was the road tear and wear, and the years spent together, and the beer, and everything debauchery that comes along with being a band in the 80s and 90s. That bass had a front row seat to all of it. You know what I mean? It had the front row seat.
We actually took the guy who ran the place. I was good friends with. Matter of fact, that's where I bought all my Charvels in the 80s was from him.
Yeah.
So we say we was going to borrow it for 3 months, 6 months.
Did we give him that long?
Yeah.
See, I wasn't a part of the conversation. I was just smiling on my way out the door because they were letting me take the thing out the store and not pay for it. I knew I was supposed to bring it back. And Peggy, you're absolutely right. It meant so much more than the money. The money meant absolutely nothing to me. But let's think about it, almost like a metaphor. That thing was strapped to my chest for the better part of 25, 30 years. So when I was having the most fun on stage, when I was doing the crazy things, running out, dancing on the bars, jumping up on people's tables. I spin around on pool tables. I let the whole bar make sure that everybody knew something was going on anyways. You know, I even been known to take the thing into go wireless and go into the other part of the bar and sit and have a beer at the bar while the rest of the band's still on stage playing. That thing hanging around my neck literally had a front row seat to all the crazy stuff that I decided I was going to do for the evening over the course of better part of 25, 30 years. So yeah, you're absolutely right, Peggy. You couldn't buy that thing for anything. And still, now that I'm thinking about it, it brings back a lot of emotion.
Well, I mean, that bass, I think they were selling it for what, $700?
At the time, it was the top of the, it was one of the top line
basses. Charvel, San Dimas bass.
Yeah, I think it's like they call like an EB1. No, it was maybe the EB2, something like that. You can pick them up now for $200 or $300, but I don't want another one, you know, because I've looked at them and everybody says, "Oh, just get you another one, get you another one." I really don't want another one. If I ever come across the old one, trust me, I'll know it. There's some dings, some scars, some scratches, so I know which one's mine. So it'll be that old proverbial story, maybe when I'm 60 years old or something like that.
Not that far away.
Right? It's really not. It's only a couple more years. So maybe I'll come across it sometime, maybe in a pawn shop, or some kid will pop up. You never know.
But yeah, I think it was either 3 months or 6 months. Because that's where we were going to go to the studio, too, the first time.
That's right.
The Mark studio. Yeah. Where that picture was taken, matter of fact.
Yeah.
We were standing in front of Motley Crue. That was their gold album, platinum, and it was another one from Gloria Estefan.
Yeah, because he worked with Gloria Estefan. And
this guy
Motley
worked
Crue.
with everybody.
Yeah.
And so he was the producer. Let's see. There was something. Oh, when you wanted to smash your.
Yeah, that was my original bass. One I got in high school.
Hondo.
It was an old Hondo bass. It was styled and shaped like a Fender Precision. It was red with a white pick guard. Nothing special about it either. It was my very first bass. Didn't really have much appreciation for it. So let's just say back then, technically, I wasn't astute. So it wasn't nothing amazing as far as a bass solo was concerned. It mostly had to do with tossing it around, throwing it around, massaging my amplifier with it, doing all kinds of crazy things until you kick it to the point to where the jack comes unplugged, and that's the end of the bass solo. Have a good night. Thanks for coming to Memphis.
We were at that house that we were practicing at, and he was sitting at the bar, and he was so drunk. You were drinking. He thought it was Mac and Coke. You want to finish that story?
Mac and Coke.
Yeah, you thought it was McMasters and Coca-Cola. You were getting the Coca-Cola out of the. Or no, you were getting the McMasters, and it was the wine.
Oh, that rock gut wine. Yeah. I thought we were going to tell them about the gin in the spaghetti jar, man.
No.
Don't ever mix gin with ragu. It doesn't work, folks, even if you rinse the spaghetti jar out. It's nasty. Consider this my public service announcement.
He was so drunk at this practice that thought he was drinking Mac and Coke. So you were getting the McMasters, and there were Coke bottles in the refrigerator at this house that had homemade Dago, and I'm going to say Dago, even though I'm Italian. It was homemade Dago red wine. He didn't realize that it wasn't Coke. He was mixing red wine with McMasters and drinking it. So all of a sudden, I see him grab his bass. He quit playing, and he grabs it like a baseball bat, and he was getting ready to smash it on the floor. And I stopped him. He got mad because I stopped him. I'm like, what are you going to play if you break it? You don't have another one. So.
Yeah, I think that's the only reason why I didn't do it, because he's like, hey, man, that's the only one you got. I'm like, but
I want to smash it.
Yeah, I was into it, man. I was going to do it. I was going to have at it, man.
So, and I've told you before, like when I worked did the WWE thing, WWF at that time, he worked with me one time. He can tell you about when you met Hogan.
Oh, yeah, the road crew. Hey, if none of you ever had the chance, rest in peace, Hulk Hogan, to meet the man, a lot of folks ask, are they really like that? Do they really talk like that? And a lot of them, no, they don't talk like that. They don't act like that. It's all a performance, and we all know that now. But Hulk Hogan was a little bit different. Hulk Hogan actually talked like that. He walked like that. That was Hulk Hogan, okay? And he was a blast, and a lot of things came to light, learned a lot of things about the entertainment industry. We watched it on TV. It seemed like thousands of people applauding, taking pictures and all of that. Come to find out there's strobe lights hanging from the ceilings. Cameras are not allowed in there. And
back then.
And everybody cheering. Literally, I could be sitting on the other side of the wrestling ring from Ronnie while a match was going on, and we could have a conversation, because no one was really cheering or yelling, because everyone can tell that he didn't really fall off the top of that ring. He didn't really get tossed off of that. Now, that headbutt didn't really connect. That's fake blood, But, yeah, we did road crew work for wrestling. We did some for some other rock bands. Had a lot of fun back then. Believe it or not, one of the funnest times we ever had wasn't with a rock band at all. It was with the Oak Ridge.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you did that. Yeah.
We worked with the Oak Ridge boys.
I got the pass still right back there.
Yeah. Okay. We're talking way too much about my drinking habits. I'm going to leave it on this. I couldn't hold a candle to those guys. They brought in, the Oak Ridge boys brought in a half of a pallet of beer. And if you don't know what I mean by a half of a pallet, that's what they stack up on semi-trucks. So we're talking 50 to 70 cases of beer. I got to take several home with me. A lot of other folks got to take it home with them. But those good old boys put a lot of that beer away.
Yeah, their singer was drunk.
Yeah, but before the night was over, I was waiting for the singer to actually finish up on his back on the drum riser and just kind of crash out. There it is. Yeah. The Oak Ridge boys, folks. Some of the craziest people you ever want to work for in the rock and roll industry.
That one, and then I did another one with them too. This one. Crew 1990.
Yeah, there you go. The Oak Ridge.
And then, you didn't work that one, did you?
Which one?
Poison.
No, not for.
Okay. And you didn't work the one with Aerosmith and Badlands and all that, right? That's when I spent all the time on the bus with Jakey Lee and Ray Gillen.
No,
okay.
Not for Badlands, no.
But, all right. Entertainment. Well, there was was it? I can't remember. There was one of the wrestlers who Vince McMahon wanted him to go get a drug test for steroids. And he said, that's fine. Have Hunter come pick me up in a limo and we'll both take the test. Meaning Triple H. And he said they never asked me again about steroids.
Yeah. Triple H is now running the place, right? Yeah.
And one of the biggest, most muscular guys there who was intimidating as can be was the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
That guy was.
Yeah, he was a beast.
Jim Hellwig, man, he was
a real beast. And some of those guys, man, they lived it. We were running cables, and these cables were huge. really like what they call a snake, more or less. It was 20, 30 cables all rolled together, and we pulled them up
It
out
was
of
literally like that.
Yeah, we were pulling them out of a road case, and you had to run them from one side of the Civic Arena or the Civic Center to the other side of the Civic Center. And me and Ronnie both, we're fairly big guys, got a hold of this thing, and we're trying to just lift it out of the road trunk, right? And we're having difficult with it. And I think his name was Brett the Hitman Hart.
No.
Wasn't him?
No, you're talking about Hawk and Animal.
Which one was it? Picked the snake. He picks
Animal.
the snake
That
up.
was Animal.
Yeah. He picks the snake up
Legion
out
of
of the
Doom.
road track and just starts walking across the Civic Arena with it, going, "Hey boys, I got this." And I'm sitting there going, "How in the world has he got that when the two of us did?" But we had some good times with all those guys, man. It's a great group of guys, really.
Yeah, they are. There was a dark side to it, but like if you guys remember the late 80s, early 90s, remember the wrestler Earthquake?
Rowdy Piper. I see you, brother.
Do you guys remember Earthquake?
Big dude.
He
Real
was
big,
he
big
was
dude.
just big.
Yeah,
I mean,
really
okay.
big dude.
You seeing him walk out of the shower and walk in front of you is something you don't want to you don't want to remember it, but you can't stop.
You're in his shadow.
Yeah, did you work with me when I was with Andre? Was you there for that one?
Yeah, I met almost all those guys. And like Ronnie was telling you, a little older, a little shorter. We all shrink with time, but at the time, 6'8", 350,
Probably.
and I was standing in that man's shadow. And there's not a whole lot that would intimidate me back, especially when I'm 19. When you're that young, you're invincible. You know what I mean? You take on the whole world. But I literally standing in that man's shadow.
He was so bad off, we had to actually help him out of the chair, help him up to the scissor lift that they drove him to the ring in. And then when he come back, then when they come back, we had to help him out, get him back in the chair. And that man's thumb was the size of my three fingers right there. He really was a giant.
Yeah, and the nights he wrestled, they put extra supports under the ring. There was, believe it or not, there's this huge spring, and I don't mean to sound like Looney Tunes here, but literally this big round coil spring under the wrestling ring, and all these extra supports so that when somebody, if he decided to let them body slam him that night, the ring would support his weight. Yes, he had to actually be assisted to the ring and back from the ring in and out of a locker room.
And up out of the chairs, too.
Heart of gold.
Yeah.
Heart of gold.
Yeah, Andre was definitely, sometimes he was hard to understand. And what the funny part about all this is all these guys who are out, the rockers, that's when Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty were the rockers instead of Shawn going on his own.
Right.
All these guys were, I'll get you, I'll tear your head off. Backstage, man, they're playing euchre. They're all on the tables playing euchre and eating lunch. So,
yeah, to see the comment, metal and wrestling do go together, brother. And he liked to drink too. Sure did. That's one man you could watch put away a lot of beer. 30 beers wasn't a whole lot to that man. That was just getting him started.
Not to mention when he grabbed the beer, the regular sized beer can, look, like the little cans you can buy now. They're literally like that.
The small little 4-ounce cans. That's what it looked
that's
like.
That's what a full size beer looked like in his hand. I mean, this guy was
legendary farts. Could you imagine beer farts? And if the man had baked beans for dinner, yeah. And Andre the Giant been known to clear airlines.
So yeah, all that was all, you learn a bunch of stuff there. And again, that was before all the internet and everything like we have it now. So they actually had a white grease board in back and it had every match, who was in the match, how many times X wrestler was going to hit the mat, how many times he would break out from getting counted out, tell you the winner. I mean, down to within a 5-second margin. And I remember us going, man, if we bet people in the crowd because they were thinking this was all real. You could just sit there and okay, well, he's going to I bet he's still going to come back and win that. No, he's not. Yeah, he will. How do you know? Well, we saw it backstage. It was interesting. Very interesting. But it was crazy. I mean, do you remember
And
Marty?
still,
Do you remember Marty?
Marty.
Had the Fantasia magazine, Marty and Ken.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, Marty and I got Marty on to work one time, and Marty and I were we were sitting there. You know, the matches were on. We were done till everything was over with, and I'm sitting there, and we were sitting on the back steps. Marty's sitting up behind me. I'm sitting here on the lower, and Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, walked by, and he said hi or something, and I was talking to Marty, so I didn't pay attention to him. And he stopped, turned back around, comes over to me, and goes, "Hard ass?" And I'm like, "Huh? You think you're a hard ass?" I'm like, no, when did I say that? You didn't say hi to me. I said, I didn't hear you. And Marty's sitting there going, oh God. And then I thought he was joking. I, honest to God, thought he was joking. Not Marty. I'm talking about Ted DiBiase. I said, okay, what do you want to do? You want to go out in the ring? I said, we'll go out in the ring. You want to go? I said, but with me, it's not going to be fake. Then I stood up, and he's about that much taller than me. He's like, just sit down, boy. Sit down. And then he handed us, he goes, sit down, boy. And he pulled out $100 bill out of his pocket and handed it to me. I'm like, okay, I'll sit down. And then while we were sitting there, I think I told you about this one. One of the referees I don't know if he's still doing it or he quit. He may have retired. I don't remember. But, I'm sitting there, long hair, had lifted weights, boxed, football. And this guy comes up, looks at me in the morning and goes, hey, you guys got any weed? And I'm like, I don't do it. I don't think he believed me. No one ever did. That's why I don't do it. Marty, being Marty, goes, no, I don't have any, but I know where I can get some. So the guy hands Marty, it was either $100 or $200 and goes, oh yeah, go get it for me and bring it back. Well, this was, Marty had worked all morning, and we got the afternoon and the evening. The show started. We were waiting for everything to end so we could tear everything down. And Marty goes, okay, I'll go. He leaves. He never comes back. He took the money and left. Yeah. And the referee's looking for me. He goes, where's your buddy? I said, who? He goes, the guy I gave the money to. I said, I don't know who it is. I said, hey, that was the first time Marty worked there.
Took the money and ran.
I said, that's the first time he's been here. I don't know who he is.
Oh.
And then that night, after we were done, it's about 3 a.m, and I drove out to St. Clairsville, and I could hear him and Ken in there talking, and they were, Marty was talking about the money, and I walked up and I started beating on the door, get one of my money, and you heard stuff flying everywhere. They were trying to get out of the chairs and shut the lights off. It was, oh my God, that was funny. Guess you had to be there, but it was funny. Because Marty was a big guy. Marty was 6 foot, and he probably went 450. He was as round as he was tall. So, and Marty trying to bust through the apartment, talking everything over. So, Mullet, do you have to upgrade the Chinese crackle paint job guitars? Okay. Oh. All right. The people think the Crackle Charvel or the Crackle Jacksons are actually made in China because they say it on the back. So you would believe that. They're not. They are all made in Indonesia. China does the paint job. So how that's cost effective, I have no idea, but they get made. They go from there to China where they get painted and then everything put on it. But because of international law and shipping, since they were the last ones to touch it, it has to say that it was made in China. So the whole body, the neck through, everything was already done, but it was done in, the body was made in Indonesia. I have no idea. So yeah, I don't know if they're doing I just know for Jackson, the crackle finish is in China. So they actually didn't build the guitar; they just painted it and then put everything back in it. It was already built and shipped them from Indonesia. And I've had people play those, you see on the wall, compared to a USA soloist, and he couldn't tell the difference. So it's a lot of, it's kind of like a marketing type deal. You know, well, this is USA made, so it's 5 times more than this one. But if you give someone who a truly honest opinion, blindfold them, let them play them, most of them cannot tell the difference. So I have, who knows? But as far as getting them, as far as the paint job's fine. They are built. They're very well built. Any of those up there, I'd put any one of those I'd even put any one of those against the custom shop. And I'm not just saying that, honest to God's truth. So, and the paint jobs are good. Can you hand me the red one? The red one's his favorite too. I mean, this is your factory finish right here.
Yeah, the silver under the red's beautiful. I love it. It's absolutely beautiful. Hey, Russell, I see you too, brother. It's not only good to know the guy, it's also good to be the guy. And legally now, I get to be the guy too. Rock on. Thanks, Cheryl. I appreciate that too. The story's about all we have left these days.
Yeah. Which is why we're still doing the music now. You know, he's had carpal tunnel also done. He was here when I had my Frankenstein operation 40 years ago this year. And literally, you can still see it looks like Frankenstein's scar. You can't even see his.
Yeah, maybe the wrestling roadie stuff did just work its way out, run its course type thing. We did that for a while. That wasn't a big part of our lives. Like we were talking earlier, that was just a part of a lot of things we did together. But the whole time, the music was always in the background. We were still going through a lot of processes and writing, things like that. Still having a lot of fun, still going fishing, still doing everything. But the pro wrestling thing was a small part of a journey that we got to take together over the last 42 years.
And I don't even know how many songs we came up with, or at least ideas for songs on the fishing trips.
Oh, yeah. What we should have done is brought one of them guitars along with us on one of those fishing trips.
And we've almost been run over by barges. So we've had does anybody remember late 80s in Ohio, there was a guy who went out shooting people. He was, I don't know how many people he killed, 5?
Yeah, at least I think it was a big thing here in this part of the state of Ohio.
I forget what they call him, the outdoor killer or something like that?
Yeah, he was just randomly shooting people outdoors. Folks that call fishing, camping, jogging in a park, things like that at the time. And it was very newsworthy around this part of the area at the time.
You want to tell them the bar camp story about that?
No. The story goes, long story short, I won't dwell on it. came across the serial killer fishing by the lake. Couldn't think what to do other than, how would you say, assault him with my tackle box and make a run for it, because we weren't going to die that day. And that was a story, and we're sticking to that story still to this day.
He came up behind me, and all of a sudden, because he had a gun, and it wasn't hunting season. We were out there fishing. He had a gun, and
I don't think they were a hunting one. I don't even think was allowed in that area.
It might, yeah. It was a state park.
It's state park, and it was pretty much well protected. You couldn't even use a boat motor. I mean, it was like a trolling motor. It was real quiet.
Yeah, battery motors only.
Yeah, it was a very peaceful, restful place. The vast majority of what folks did in the area was just the hiking trails or the jogging path along the lake.
Horse ride trails.
Yeah, around the lake and things like that.
And I went back to go to the bathroom. So I'm standing there, and all of a sudden I hear bam, splash. He's there. I got him. I got the killer.
Yeah, grab your stuff. Let's run. I got a big dent in my tackle box, but we're out of here.
So the last thing you saw was re-elect Crumley. Jed likes that story.
Does he?
That was his grandmother.
Oh, yeah, Sheriff Crumley. That was his grandma.
Yeah. Yeah, my buddy Jed, his grandmother was the first woman elected sheriff in the United States, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely the first one in this part, this part of the world.
She was on Johnny Carson, Hee Haw.
Yep.
Kathy Crumley. That's Jed's grandmother. What does the Angle amp sound like?
Does
the... Yeah. Oh, no.
There's no comparison. Night and day.
He'll tell you those Angles are probably the loudest amps he's ever heard. Remember a couple years ago when you came here the first time again and saw when I had it?
Yeah.
I couldn't even turn it up to 1, literally. So, Russell, yeah, tell you what, we spent a lot of time shooting, fishing.
We did all that, man. Anything you could think of what 2 good down home boys would do. Cars, fishing, heavy metal, rock and roll. The first time I ever went to a strip club, Ronnie took me. I mean, you name it. Anything you could think of that 2 guys, red-blooded American boys, would get into in this country. You're looking at 2 of them that did just exactly that.
And then we even joined a model building club.
Yeah, that's true. Built model planes. Yep.
Well, you built planes. I built trucks and cars.
Cars, yep.
So, yeah, and both big interest in World War II, history buff. So, yeah, Russell, that's fine with me. So, yeah, I know I've been telling you guys for over 3 years how I am, and I've been accused by a few people that I'm lying or not telling the truth. Now's your chance to ask.
Yeah. And you're absolutely right, Russell. I plan on doing a lot more this year to get a lot more healthy. Getting back together with Ron and doing some music, it's sparked a creative side in me again. I'm really enjoying it. But at the same time, I'm ready to get back out there and have some fun too. So I've already started working out a little bit. I'm looking to up my game and actually pay the dues at a gym. I figure if I'm paying dues at the gym, I'm more likely to go to the gym. But yeah, and I'm watching what I'm doing. I'm not young anymore, so I watch what I eat, I watch what I drink, and I'm trying to get healthy right along there with you, brother, because I would like to get back out there and do it all over again.
Peggy, you spend a lot of weekends partying around a campfire. So it's kind of like the beginning of the Jaws movie where they're around a campfire and then you took off running and swam in the water. No, you couldn't have done that. You'd have got eaten by Jaws then.
Yeah, and Peggy, you're absolutely right. Partying around a campfire was a rite of passage. So wear that badge well.
Peggy actually won. Cole was on a show, and she won a limited edition T-shirt, Faith and Failure T-shirt.
Cool. Awesome.
I don't even have it. I'm like, oh man,
Really?
Yeah.
One you don't have. Wow.
So
I keep trying to get a free one off of him, and I just don't think he's going to do it. I keep getting referred back to the Faith and Failure main website for merchandise information.
yeah, he can't. Every time they come on the show, they always gave one away.
Well,
to someone that wins.
and you think I would be in line. I changed that boy's diaper at least 10, 15 times growing up as a kid, and I can't even get a T-shirt.
We'll remind him of that. He just turned 38 4 days ago.
Yeah. Oh, hey, and Peggy, I've done that to my brother once, and he found out real quick that peeing on one of those electric fences is a whole new experience, especially when you can reach over and touch a fella, and that electricity goes through him. Electric fences are, how would you say, you can't be faint of heart to play with an electric fence, especially if you're going to pee on it.
I've never done that.
I did it once. Once is all it takes. I can vouch for that.
So if you guys have any other questions, doesn't matter if it's about bass guitars, electric guitars, acoustic guitars, amplifiers, Helix, Roadcaster, drum machine, which I've become pretty good at, fishing, building an engine, shooting, whatever.
Oh God, yeah. I forgot about that. All the cars and everything.
Yep.
We played around with a little bit of it all.
Although he never got to see my Chevelles.
No, and it kills me because at the time we were pretty wrapped up in the music, so we didn't even discuss it. And he has this mint cherry 1970 SS Chevelle with a big 454 LS motor in it, and it's sitting in his garage, and we don't even discuss it. His father has a 1965, 66, 68 GT350 Mustang. Never discussed it, never talked about it. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, when we do get around to cars, it's my Camaro. You know, and then we're like, man, I wish I'd shown you my Chevelle. And I'm like, yeah, right. But at the time, we were so focused on music, we didn't even talk about cars. We came back to that, circled back to that about 5-10 years later.
Yep. That's how much music means to me, honest to God. That's because my whole thing was, let's just do music and write it, record it, play it, put it out there. I know Derek is waiting for all the new stuff. He keeps telling me to let him know when I get it posted. But we're probably going to redo this one because this is not him on bass. It's actually me.
Yeah, I need to work out some bits and pieces of it, and especially on the tone. This one's got a nice groove to it.
So we spent most of the day just on this song.
Yeah, it's not your typical song structure. So it takes, you got to think. You got to think. You got to know where you're at when you're in the middle of this mix.
What'd you call it? A motley crew?
Yeah, it focuses more on the chorus. We repeat the chorus more than we're actually doing the verses. So it's kind of got that, don't go away mag kind of feel. We're actually doing the verse more than the choruses. So working out that structure and getting that vibe, because everybody as a musician knows if it's the structure, you know, a verse, second verse, chorus, guitar solo, chorus, you know, the outro, the intro, and everything falls into line that way. But this one's actually pretty creative. Ronnie's onto something really cool here. This is one of my favorite songs we've been working on, and it's getting down that song structure. And there's a few little nuances where one little simple note's going to change. It's in the first chorus, but it's not in the second chorus. And I'm like, okay, we can work with that, but I just need to know when it's coming.
Then it's in the third verse or chorus, and then the fourth chorus adds something else and takes away something.
Oh, we don't do the E in the breakdown.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute, what? We were doing an E? So yeah, but it's been great. We're having a lot of fun with it.
And that's what it's all about, everybody. Fun anyhow. And just, if you have someone out there who you consider a brother or sister, and you haven't seen them for a long time, and you have a history that is unbelievable, get a hold of them before it's too late. Do something. Go meet halfway if you have to, or have them come over, or you go there, whatever.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of what Russell's alluding to, not using yourself up so much in the gym, but just get healthy, get wise, and get out there and take care of yourself. And live it, man. Live it.
Do it. Yeah, because it's like, I said, hey, I want to do all these songs, and I want you up here. Okay, click. Here he was. So, and it's funny because him being fired, and I hated doing that, but the guy who replaced him, Jeff, is also going to do just one or two of the songs. That's all. He wants Dave to do the rest of them. I don't know, that might be like a payback. You deserve that.
That, and from one I understood of the conversation too, he was more interested in laying back and letting do that. But where he's at right now in his life, he's not ready to quite come back and commit to all of that. He's just not feeling it. But there's a couple of songs that really he did strike a chord with him that he really is feeling, and he wants to participate. So the good thing is I've never been that guy. As far as I know, Jeff's never been that guy to where it's a competition. Nope. This is not a competition. I can sit and drink beer and go fishing with him just like I would anybody else.
And oh, never mind. I forgot that's the trackball one. I'm like, why is it not moving? And the funny part is he never changed your parts that you wrote. He played what you played. Yeah. And when the ones we wrote with him, that was his stuff. But when it was stuff that you had done, he just played just like you did it. He said that's how it was done. That's how it's going to stay. That's what he did.
I didn't know that. I appreciate that.
But that's how, and this goes back to the whole thing with respect and loyalty. It's like you I don't know.
It's hard to put it into words.
Yeah. So I don't know how else to explain it, and that's why I wanted him to be on the show, so you guys can ask a bunch of questions, and see that I am who I've told you I am. Unlike I don't even know who it was now. I forgot. But anyhow, it's just I thought I didn't force Dave to come on here. I was hoping he would, but I didn't say, hey, get over here. You're going to get on the show with me. It was just like I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to ask questions pretty much about anything. Good night, Russell.
Yeah, take care of yourself.
Be good. Mad. See Mad's comment?
Which one? Yeah.
So, and what he's alluding to there is I did that equally, but I wasn't treated equal.
About what?
The other show.
Oh, okay.
So,
oh, never mind. I got you.
So it's like, the whole thing with paying the music, paying it forward and fixing all that stuff for people and getting it done. That was just that's what it's for, you know. And I don't even know how to explain it. I mean, there's so much things that I know that I have in my head that I would love to be able to tell you guys, because you got to admit, I've been pretty open in here with you guys. I really have. I told them about where I had to sign away all that Social Security money. It was owed to me, so I get it.
Right.
You know, and it's like, that's something you don't put out. I mean, I know who's here in the chat, but there's more people watching than's in here, and you don't know who's watching.
True.
So, but I'm straight up with you guys. And ask him. I've always been that way. It's how I want to do it. That's how I treat people the way I want to be treated. It's that simple. And I'm loyal to those who are loyal to me. And it's that simple, you know? And like I said, every other band that we've ever known from this area or ever, if someone would have got fired, or you think 42 years later they're still friends?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah. Something pretty rare.
So, but yeah, it's just, you know, I don't know how else to explain it, but I believe me, I have stuff I'd like to tell you. I just don't know how to say it. So, Peggy, true, but it's got to be earned. You know, you just don't give it.
Well, I kind of agree with Peggy on this one, though.
Get out.
No, I do. You're fired. No, I do agree with Peggy on this one, because the truth is out of the gate, right out of the get-go, I will show you the ultimate respect. I do it with everybody in my daily life. Any waitress, when we went to dinner today, anybody I come in contact with. So I do agree with Peggy on this one. Out of the gate, you do have my respect. If you screw around with me, though, and I see I'm not getting it, my respect's done too, and you're not going to get it back. That's where, like you're saying, you're going to have to earn it back. I will give it to you out of the gate, but I'm not going to extend it once the starts to fly.
Yeah, it's been broken. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So he knew my Nona, grandma, my dad's mom.
Oh, yep. Knew the whole family.
Yep. And my grandfather, and so he knows how I was. You know how Lefty, it was his nickname.
Yeah.
How he was, and those are the two that raised me. Because, like I said, you know, Dad worked the body shops, the plant, then politics. So, exactly, Mad, right there.
Yep, I agree with you, Mad Hatter. Absolutely, brother. And you know what's funny is that's an old school golden rule that those of us of a certain age, we know that one, and you feel it, you live it, you breathe it. But the fact that you have to say it to somebody nowadays, it kind of hurts to think that you have to explain that one to somebody.
Definitely different. So you guys, let's see. Go.
There you go, Cheryl. Absolutely.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, and by the way, man, I did print you some more of the fret polishers too, and I printed him some. And I guess show Dave how to use them. He's never seen them before. But it's great. It's great because it's just wide for the bass. That's all you need for the bass. You don't need anything else. So, any other questions about music, recording, guitars, basses? What is my favorite pickup in my Jackson guitars?
That's a good question.
Yeah, but that's an impossible one to answer.
I know. You got a few.
Well, the reason I say that, Guru, is because even though there's what? 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like 19 or 20 soloists. They all have different pickups in them. They're all Seymour Duncans, but they're different models. And it depends on what sound I want for that song. Which you saw that today with the with that one.
Yeah, we actually had to switch guitars a couple times to get the feel.
Because what we're going to do Monday is build the sound for this new Charvel. Thank you, Billy Ray, and your guitars are all packed up, by the way.
Yeah, those were fun, but we got them done, brother. They're on their way.
I don't have anything set up for that JB4, which is Jeff Beck, and Jeff Beck didn't use a lot of distortion. So I sat here when we were working on it, and I went through everything I had, and it couldn't sound right. And then that's why I said, I grabbed another guitar, and when I plugged that guitar into the same setting I had, it was like night and day. It really was. So that's the whole thing, But my favorite pickups are Seymour Duncan. My favorite Seymour Duncan pickups are, well, I don't know if she makes them anymore, but they were made by MJ. She's still there. There's her picture over there on the wall.
Yeah, I see it.
She's my pinup girl.
She's the one that rounds them, or she rounds them.
Yeah.
Rounds. Sorry. Herself.
She's now a supervisor of the custom shop. So she's not, well, we don't know. Because it's been a year or so or 2 years since I've had one made by her. But there's a gentleman in chat, Derek, which isn't here tonight. I don't think he is. He called to have her make one, and they said she's now the supervisor of the department. So I don't know if she's still making it. I'm sure she's probably still making them for all the big rock stars out there that she made it for before.
Right.
But she may not be making them for just anybody that calls and asks for it anymore. I don't know. So.
I don't really have one, Mad. Thanks for throwing one to me. I don't really have a favorite pickup combination. I like the standard setup with a give me tone, give me volume, give me 4 strings, don't give me nothing fancy. I do like the sound out of the standard Fender Precision pickup. I am looking to invest and find out what kind of tone I can get out of a set of Geezer Butler Signature Series.
Black Sabbath.
Yeah, they're a little bit hotter of a pickup, a little bit heavier. So I am interested in seeing how those will turn out. And I am wanting to stick those in my Fender Precision. If not, they're going to be in a Franken bass. So who knows, right?
Tell them. No, I'm surprised no one asked this yet. Because they always ask me who my favorite guitar players are. What got me going. Tell them who got you started in bass and who you.
Rudy Sarzo from Quiet Riot. I'd been to a few concerts, nothing really major, nothing rock and roll. I think my very first concert my mother took me to, Loretta Lynn opened for Conway Twitty. Yes, I'm that old. But it was a Quiet Riot concert. A little known band from the UK opened up, Girls School, good metal. The band called Saga, which probably nobody even remembers or knows the name, but it was Rudy Sarzo got me started. It was my first real rock concert experience. The stage persona, you could tell these guys cut their teeth in a bar in LA. They weren't just studio musicians, just somebody out there faking it. They were really feeling it. And since then I've had quite a few people that have come and gone over the years that inspired me, but I will always give a shout out to Benjamin Orr from the Cars.
I forgot all about that.
Benjamin Orr is a phenomenal singer. Most people don't know it, but he sang as much, if not as much, as Rick Ocasek, the singer for the Cars. And he had such a vocal, not vocal as in his voice, but his vocal talent through his bass, his instrument. He really knew how to phrase things. So he's always been there. A gentleman named Eddie Jackson is a bass player from Queensryche. With him, it was always about tone and technique. So when you start splicing Rudy Sarzo with Eddie Jackson and you throw in the Benjamin Orr, you come out with some really, really respectful, awesome musicians. That being said, I don't know the gentleman's name, but here lately I've put Great White back into my rotation. And the bass player from Great White, when you talk about tone, I have to be honest with everybody. I am kind of looking, I'm seeking that. I'm looking for that tone. So if there's anybody on here that can get the information to Ronnie, if you can give me any idea, setup, what he's using, what kind of pedals, what kind of strings, what kind of pickups, anything like that. Great White is back in my rotation as well. But yeah, you can't go wrong. I always got to give a shout out to Benjamin Orr. God bless his soul. He is buried here in the state of Ohio. So he's always been a hometown favorite. And like I said, probably one of my favorite early on albums. I really wasn't that much into rock, but it was different for me listening to him because everybody started, well, I started out like a lot of folks, Van Halen, Women and Children First, AC/DC, Highway to Hell, and Cheap Trick. Dream Police was the first 3 albums I actually had that I'd listened to. Now, the first album I ever bought was Love Gun by Kiss, but that just gives you some of my influences. I'm old school. I listen to all that stuff.
You didn't name any. I told them the other day, I said, I know 3 I think he would say. And you haven't named any of the 3.
There's so many that's come and gone. It depends on my rotation list. You know what I mean?
I told them, I said, probably a little bit of Geddy Lee.
Yeah, I
know
Geddy
Joe was more, but
yeah.
And I said, Nikki Sixx.
Nikki Sixx is a songwriter.
And Blackie Lawless.
Blackie Lawless as a stage persona, absolutely. Blackie Lawless for me was a lot of rapid fire aggression stuff early on, but he had a big influence on me as far as stage personas go. Mm-hmm. And in the early days, I did do a lot of emulation of Blackie Lawless. Nikki Sixx, I love his feel. I know a lot of folks are up in the air about his playing, whether he actually played or not. I liked a lot of the earlier stuff. And with Nikki Sixx, if you ask me about my songwriters, that changes everything. Now, influences are totally different because it kind of throws a blanket on things. Believe it or not, Ace Frehley was a huge influence on me, and I'm not a guitar player. But they were, Ace Frehley's how would you say, a cat all into himself. So,
Scott, that's cool. I have cousins that live in Parma.
Dream Police, baby, yeah. Cheap Trick, that's my gig.
Yeah, I told him. I said it's probably going to be Nikki Sixx, Blackie Lawless.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
a little bit of Geddy.
Oh, and your taste refine as you get a little older. Those were the big ones. Those were the 3 big ones when I first started playing in a band and where I was going. I mean, I've shaped a lot of my, like I said, my stage persona around Blackie Lawless. When I did pitch in and try any type of songwriting, actually I still do that. I try to channel my inner Nikki Sixx because, he's a great songwriter, whether you like his bass playing or not, you know what I mean? But as I get older, the taste kind of refine. But yeah, it may change next week depending on who's in my rotation. Something I just added back into my rotation is a metal band from the 80s called Loudness. Their bass player, not only a killer tone, but you talk about a melody. I mean, you had to stand up toe-to-toe with one of the greatest guitar players out of Japan and stand up for yourself and make a mark so everybody wasn't just watching the guitar player, you know what I mean? Even the singer did it. The drummer did it. Everybody had to stand on their own 2 feet when you're on stage with a giant like that. You got to up your game.
Yep. Big time. And, a lot of people are surprised that Loudness is touring now. The original band. Yeah, yep, the original lineup.
And I caught them on some YouTube on their Monsters of Rock cruise, and they still got it, brother. They still got it.
Hey, Mad, his brother got blocked from Nikki Sixx making a comment. So
yeah, my brother actually got blocked, and Nikki Sixx didn't like my brother a whole lot. I guess they took a photograph with his wife, and my brother made the comment that he thought his daughter was very nice and pretty. And come to find out, it wasn't his daughter or his granddaughter. It's actually his wife. Well, my brother had no way of knowing that the man had taken a wife 40 years younger than him. So, that's where it all started. So, yeah, so I kind of my family does have a family feud with Nikki Sixx.
So, with all that done, anything else you guys want to ask?
Hey, and I agree with Peggy here on those Dean headstocks. I got to be honest with you. I like the bases. I really do. I've looked at a lot of them, and I've actually pulled the plug on, I would say, 3 different purchases just because of the headstocks. I like Flying V. I like the one they do. It looks like a Dimebag Darrell's guitar. There's a couple really nice Dean basses out there. That the headstock is the only thing that stopped me, and I got to be honest with you. There's been a few times where I thought about, hey, you know what? That's a part we could actually swap out. If I really hate that headstock that bad, I could actually swap that out with something else. But that's beyond. I agree with you, Peggy. I pulled the plug 3 times on purchasing a Dean because of those headstock.
So, yeah, Matt, his brother he's different. William's different.
He speaks his mind. He can't help himself. We were talking old school golden rules earlier. You ever hear the term bridle your tongue? That's not my brother. That's not my brother. If he's thinking it, he's going to say it, and God bless his soul. We've had to save him from an ass whooping a couple times, but yeah.
The first time I met him, which was 1984, was he graduated a year after? He graduated in 84 or 85?
No, he graduated a year before me, so that would have been 88. No.
86.
86,
Okay.
sorry.
The first time I met him, which would have been 84 then.
Yeah,
is
of 83, 84, somewhere in that area.
When he slammed Dean.
Oh, bounced her head off the breakfast table?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was my first impression of his brother. I thought, what a freaking jerk.
Yeah, the problem is Ronnie didn't know that actually the jerk was on the other side of how would you say, the punishment for the day?
Yeah.
She deserved it. No, don't quote me on that, okay?
This girl ended up marrying a guy, and then for how many years did she actually beat her husband up for how many years?
Oh God, almost 25, 30 years. They're about the same age as me, and they got together when they were like 13 years old.
Yeah, this girl was, and she looked like Jeff Tate when I saw her too.
When she was younger, yeah, she did. She looked just like Jeff Tate with mullet and everything.
I didn't realize it was a girl at first.
Neither did a lot of other people.
But yeah, she ended up marrying this other guy and just beating the crap out of him their entire marriage. So, the guitar is, oh, thank you, man. So anything else? Yes, Scott, I got cousins that live in Parma. Still do. So, yeah, his brother William is really a different person. He was is he the champion? He was a wrestler for their school.
Like they call Ohio Valley Wrestling Champion. Along those lines, the NC something or another. Peggy, she was a tomboy. As a matter of fact, tomboy is putting it lightly, Peggy. She was more like Tom Man, and that was at the age of 15, 16 years old. The man she married that we're referring to was also a family member, to the point to where it was so bad that he actually moved in with me. And not only moved in with me, but we considered calling an ambulance that evening because he come to my house pretty damaged. And just another PSA out there, people, it doesn't always go one way. You wouldn't believe it or not, but this woman was really, really rough on the man she was married
to where a hanger was sticking out of his neck.
Yeah, plastic hanger. It was one of those plastic hangers. She actually snapped it, broke it in half. she was kind of going at his throat like you would think a wildcat would do, and it's just gouges and scars and scratches and everything. He's bleeding. At one point in time, you could actually see the hole to where the coat hanger was hanging out of the neck. He pulled that out before he left the house because he didn't want to drive down the interstate with a coat hanger hanging out of his neck.
And this is probably the closest that what we're doing now is probably the closest of getting the band back together, because our original drummer is passed.
Yeah. Mark's gone.
Yeah, Mark died, 2 years ago?
I was thinking it was closer to. I was thinking like 3.
2 or 3 years ago, he died. Then Bear died.
Yeah, Bear's been gone for a while.
And neither one of us.
Oh, what's his name? Houston, ain't he in prison?
Yeah, yeah. This is the caliber of guys we was with at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the original guitar player is doing prison time.
And then the second one, neither one of us want to have him come around anymore. And that's sad to say, because he is a very good guitar player. The problem is he'll tell you that
over and over.
I was just going to say that. He'll tell you that the whole time he's here. And it's sad. It's really sad. So yeah, the chances of that are slim. So what's happening?
Now, there's no chance that a band may not be put together. But as far as original band members and things like that, a lot of folks, well, you can imagine after 40-some years, a lot of folks have gone in different directions.
But the one thing about it, though, is, and I consider myself blessed for this, and honest to God's truth, I never told you this.
Yes.
I have him, my original bass player. Troy is willing to do songs, sing.
All right.
And then Simon, Tim.
Right.
And Kevin.
Yeah. Kevin's always had a good. I've always liked Kevin's.
Then you on bass, Buff, couple songs on bass. Mark's passed, so I can't get him for drummers, but I can still get Novi and Steve Moore.
Right. The Mad drummer.
Yep. And so, and then, I don't know if you know this. I know it's at least one, possibly two, and I think it's going to be Payne is definitely the one.
Right.
Through Jim Dofka.
Right.
Ripper Owens is going to sing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember you mentioning something.
Yeah, Ripper Owens, man, from Judas Priest, took Rob's place. So Ripper Owens is very good chance Ripper Owens is going to sing the song we're working on called Pain. So, and then, all the other guys have went through, Simon, it's Troy, Kevin, Simon, and then other guys like Mike from Altered States,
right,
offered to play. Their singer coming, and he said, "Hey, he said I'll come do what you need." So yeah. I consider myself blessed that these guys who I've known for over 40 years, at least 40 years, if not more, are willing to come here and do this. So will that turn out to be a band? No, because we'd end up having 15 people. But,
right.
But it's all going to be under the name Dying to Play. And then everybody who's on every song will be credited to that. So, and of course Jim would do it. Right. Tim, I can't get a hold of Tim Dofka. And I'll explain that later.
What about Mike Duffy? Whatever happened to Mike?
He turned out to be a physical therapist, and he's in Akron.
Okay.
But he still has the neon
guitar.
Yeah, the neon kamikaze.
Yeah, right.
So, but yeah, Peggy, and again, that comes from not being an ass to people, treating them with respect, mutual respect, and being loyal, because this area in the 80s was great for music.
Yeah, there was a lot of support around here with
Yes.
bars and folks, patrons coming out to the bars and things like that. It was a good place to cut your teeth as far as being in a band.
And the best part was, just like LA, at some point everybody played with somebody else on a stage somewhere. So it's all intertwined, and it just happened to be, I'm going to hook up with this guy and this guy and this guy. We're going to do this band. But we all, at some point in time, played on a stage together. So.
Yeah, we'd end up with like 10, 15 people on stage with. Not that it wouldn't be fun. It'd be a lot of fun, that's for sure.
So it was definitely different and fun. And like I said, I consider myself blessed to be able to do this and have people. Yeah, I can't even get, he knows my wife. I can't even get her to sit with me for 4 hours while I talk. Yet I have a room full of people. So, and I consider myself blessed for that, and the whole thing is.
And she's heard all our stories anyways.
Yeah, well, she's lived half of them.
Right. She was right there with us. You guys are stupid for doing that.
So it was interesting, but yeah, I consider myself blessed because of this, because of paying the Music Forward program, and then blessed that you guys are donating parts to keep that going. And then just being able to hang out and, because I am trying to make this where it's worth it for you guys to be here. That's the honest to God's truth. And I was hoping with Dave here tonight, you guys would see that I'm what I tell you I am, man.
Yeah, Cheryl, it's good to meet you as well, even though it wasn't face to face. It was good to have a little quick chat with you. Especially, and you have a good evening, sis. Enjoy it.
Especially with someone the same as his ex-wife's name.
Right.
Hey, David.
Hello?
No, that's just another David came in the chat.
Oh, okay. I see it now.
So,
kind of freaked me out. I was thinking, God, all of a sudden somebody's talking to me. Like, what?
Flashback. So, so yeah, it's been a very interesting 40 plus years. Very interesting. We've pretty much been there and done that, So, anything else? All right, man. Have a good night, man.
Good night, Matt Adder. Take care, brother.
Oh, Matt, I started to have him watch your video talking about Tyson. His cat passed away.
Oh, yeah, dude. Condolences. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm a cat fellow myself. I've always had one around the house, and I went through a similar situation, and it's absolutely heartbreaking. And I wish you the best, brother. Condolences.
There you go. All right. So we are reaching the 2-hour point. And I said that'd be pretty much it for tonight, 2 hours. Because we got some work to do and some old movies to watch.
Appreciate you too, man.
So, any other questions, concerns, comments, or criticisms before we close it out tonight? Remember, Monday we actually build from scratch with your input the sound for the new Charvel, which will be interesting because I've never done that with other people's input. It's like I've always done it myself, tried this, and then I end up thinking, because I don't wear hearing, I have them, but I don't wear them, and I've often wondered if what I'm hearing is actually what you're hearing.
No, you got a lot better hearing than I do, brother.
So it's what's in it. It has a 59 in the neck and a JB4 in the bridge. And I don't have a JB4 out of all these guitars here with Seymour Duncan's. I don't have a JB4. So I don't have, and it, you know, he saw it. You weren't here earlier. Dave saw it earlier. Plugged it in, played on my two favorite ones, and it just didn't have the sound. So switched guitars and was like, bam, like night and day. So I have to try to make that JB sound better. If not, I'll have to put a different one in it, but it would still be that fluorescent green or neon green, whatever. So, but I want to try to build it, and I thought, you know what, if I involve you guys in it, say, hey, we'll try this, and then you guys tell me muddy or too tinny or more or less of this, whatever it takes. We'll do it Monday night. I think that'd be kind of a fun experiment. Who knows? Might end up doing any other ones that come through the door. Oh, and Peggy, if you're still here, which you should be, I was informed that the guitar from Hawaii was shipped yesterday. Let me see. Well, 2:08 a.m. here. So I don't know if that had been yesterday in Hawaii or tomorrow in Hawaii. Anyhow,
Hawaii's about, what, somewhere between 6-8 hours behind what we are, because California's 3 hours behind.
Okay, so it was shipped today. The Hawaiian guitar. Well, I mean, it's not Hawaiian guitar. That's a Hawaiian guitar, but yeah. So he shipped it today, and it said delivery on what the expected delivery. I think. Let me check. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Whatever time they're giving you, they're probably giving it to you Eastern Daylight.
What's today's date? Anybody know what today's date is?
I want to say like the 2nd or the 3rd.
Computer, what's today's date?
Yeah, there's somebody. Yeah, brother's got it 6 hours behind. May 1st. Thank you, sir.
Wow. That guitar is from Hawaii.
Uh-oh, now we got an update May 2nd. May 2nd, May 3rd. Can I get a May 3rd? Come on, May 3rd.
Okay. Wow. Coming from Hawaii, it's expected to be delivered on the 21st of this month.
That's a slow boat.
So roughly 3 weeks. 2.5,
Wow.
2.5 weeks before it gets here.
Really slow boat.
So I have no idea what it looks like. I don't know what color it is. I just know the guy's got 3,000 hours of live show playing on this guitar. And that's why he wants stainless steel frets in it and all that stuff. So it's basically do a lot of work to it, set it up. Plus he gave me all the information that you need. He likes the higher action because he hits really heavy. He told me what pick he's using so I can get it in that area. That's pretty cool. But it will be getting a new fret job, and it will be all be stainless steel frets. So, all right. Anything else?
Yeah, I just looked up at the clock. Brother's got it right. He's like, May 3rd is technically in an hour and a half, and that's funny to me. I don't know why, because to me, May 3rd is tomorrow. So I'm a night owl kind of guy. So May 3rd is tomorrow. That means after I go to bed and get up. But you're right, brother. May 3rd is like an hour, hour and a half away. But thanks for the reminder, man. I'm a night owl. Sorry.
All right. So, anything else before we call it a night? And again, everybody, thank you so much for this. I know this was a little bit different. Had Dave not wanted to do it, I was just going to work on his acoustic for you guys tonight. But I was really hoping he would do it, and he did. So.
Yeah, it's been fun. This is actually the first time I've ever done anything like this. So I had a good time. The time went by fairly quickly for me. I hope it did for everybody else, because I know sometimes these things seem a little drawn out. Everybody likes that instant gratification. So for those of you that stuck around, we appreciate you. For those of you who had to turn in early, we appreciate you too. I'm just, like I said, I'm just one of those night owl guys. So this is actually, be honest with you, this is early for me. I'm just waking up.
Yeah, we quit watching movies last night at, what, 5 a.m.?
Absolutely. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Good night.
All right, everybody. So with that, I will see you Monday at 9 p.m., and we will build a sound. I think that's going to be really cool. So, everybody, thank you so much. And as Ronnie James Dio would say, the biggest stars in the world, and as Ozzy would say, I love you all. Sharon! All right, everybody.
Peace.
Good night. Dave said peace, so. All right, good night, everyone.